Can you afford to help your adult children in retirement? The answer might just surprise you. Um, you might have grown up like me in a time or a culture similar to mine where once the child turned 18, they were pretty much on their own. Might help a little, especially in the beginning, but for so many cultures and families, it just isn't done. When the child reaches adulthood, typically age 18, they are on their own. That's how I was raised. Pretty much everybody I knew was brought up the same way. Our parents either couldn't afford to help us or they believed that you're an adult now. I got you to this point. I kept you healthy. I kept you fed. I kept shoes on your feet. So now you are on your own. Somewhere along the lines, parents kind of got away from that. Now, we keep our kids on our insurance till they're 26. I was a mom. I had a kid in preschool, whatever, by the time when I was 26. Or no, kindergarten by the time I was 26. And to still be on my parents' insurance, but now we put them on our phone plans. They get our insurance. We pay for their car insurance. It is great if you can afford it. And this video is going to explore, how do you know? Can I afford to support my adult child in my retirement or as I approach retirement? And not everything that we do for our kids, our adult children, is a bad thing. It's not like they're in Vegas every other week spending the rent money, and it's like, oh, if I don't help them out, they're going to lose the house and everything because they're making these terrible choices and, just doing, terrible behavior, and I'm not going to support bad behavior. That makes it kind of an easy decision if we're wanting to help our adult children, but they're making terrible decisions. Then it's kind of easy for us because it's like, no, I do not support your lifestyle, so I'm not going to financially support your lifestyle. I am getting ready to retire myself. So I'm not rewarding bad behavior. But what if it isn't bad behavior? What if it's a mortgage? They need to save money for a mortgage or college. Mom, I got to go to college. It's so expensive. It's $100,000 a year. I can't afford it. Exactly. You can't afford it, and neither can I, so you're not going. If you can't afford a down payment for this big, huge, beautiful house in this great neighborhood, then you can't afford to live there. You're going to have to rent a little longer. You're going to have to move a few blocks away from your dream neighborhood that you want to move into, whatever. If they can't afford it, can you afford to do it for them? That is the question that we're going to answer today. And the answer, it's pretty simple. It's a pretty easy answer, actually. The question is, if you are having to delay your retirement or your dreams, your own goals, to work longer, to work harder, to work more overtime, to do anything that interferes with your retirement, even if you're not there yet, then no, you cannot afford to help out your kids. You just can't afford it. If you have to delay your own retirement, and I know so many people who have done that. I know a couple who have bought their children starter houses. They bought them. Their kids are now parents of grandchildren, and they have been for several years. Mom and dad, who bought those starter houses all those years ago, they're both still working, and they're not young. They are well past the age. Full retirement age in America is, I think, like 66, 67. It depends on when you were born. They're past that, both of them. They're past full retirement age in the United States, and they're both still working full time and a lot of overtime. And they both have really good jobs. It's not like, well, they, no, that's why they're working. And they continue to do all kinds of different things to support the kids. If you're delaying your own future, you're putting it off, and maybe you love to work, and that's fine. If you love to work and you're at your job because you're 70, you're 73, you're 75, and you love what you do and you see no reason to retire, okay, great, that's fine. So I'm not saying if you're 73 and you're still working, you've made a big, huge mistake. Of course not. Every family, every individual is different, and our goals for retirement are different. But if you are still working because your children need you, I know another dear lady, she didn't get to completely retire until she was in her 80s. She was still working. And if you asked her, sweetie, when are you going to retire? When are you just going to enjoy life? She would say, I can't. The kids need me. The kids need me to work. That was always her answer. The kids needed her to work. Okay, if that's your situation and you're not working because you love your job, it's fulfilling, you have no reason not to work, you don't want to sit at home and fill bird feeders all day long or crochet blankets for everybody's babies, that's great if that's why you're working. But if you're working because the kids need me, oh my gosh, sweetie, that's so sad. You are delaying your own peace, physical health. She was not really active anymore physically. Yeah, she did not look like she really felt like $1,000,000. Yeah, she moved really slow. Sweetest lady. But she should have retired, and maybe that's exactly what she wanted to do. And that was how she found contentment and joy, was by working herself. Yeah, way beyond what her body wanted her to work, but that's how she found peace, contentment, joy. Maybe that was her situation, but it never looked like it. I saw her face when people would ask her, when are you going to retire? The kids need me. The kids need me to work. I love my kids. I do. Just like you love yours. But I do not want to rob myself of my physical health, my mental health, emotional, to keep working to help save for a down payment for a house. When I was young, I know about 100 years ago, when I was young, that's not the way that it worked. If you wanted something, you sacrificed. You never expected a parent or a grandparent or an aunt or uncle to work overtime to save you your retirement money. And there's just so many ways. And people say, well, it's just too hard nowadays. Interest rates are crazy, which they came down just a little bit this week. But anyway, interest rates are crazy. Housing is just off the charts. Nobody can afford to move, to build, to pursue their dreams. You just can't afford it in today's economy. That's not exactly true. If that were true, there would not be any home sales unless parents or grandparents were the ones buying the houses. Houses are still selling. I'm still driving and I see construction going on everywhere. And it's not just low-income housing. Everywhere I go, you see beautiful houses being put up. They're so pretty, so nice. Got all the amenities, the curb appeal. Beautiful. They're still being built. So apparently you can afford it. If not, it wouldn't be happening. They can afford to their own down payment. And if they can't, that's because they're dreaming of a house outside of what they can afford. It can be done because people are doing it. So how do we, if we find ourselves in that position where, yeah, but Teresa, it's too late for me. I am already working until, like that dear lady I told you about, who in her 80s, I'm already working for the kids. I'm helping. I'm paying for college for my grandchildren. They're already enrolled. I can't stop paying now. They're already enrolled. I can't stop paying their insurance, their car insurance. They're already on my medical insurance. They're on my phone plan. I can't just stop. Well, yeah, you kind of can. Like and comment. Let me know below if you're in this situation or if you know someone who is, and if you have any helpful tips and hints of how people can transition from I'm helping the kids, I can't afford it, I am here, I am working longer than I want to work because I want to help my children, but I really don't want to be in this place. I want to relax. I want to enjoy all the work that I did to get to retirement or get near retirement. I'm about ready to leave the workforce, but I can't because of all these other obligations with other people. So if you have some hints and tips or advice or encouragement, especially encouragement, oh, we got to encourage one another, post it below. Let us all know what you think. I think the first thing that we need to do is set boundaries. If we are going to help the grandkids with college, or we want to help save for a down payment, or buying them a car, whatever it is, keeping them on your insurance. Set boundaries. You decide what you can do and how much. This is it. This is all I'm doing. I'm already paying for tuition. This is going to be my last quarter. I can't do this anymore. And that will give them time to start saving money. Start working through the summer. Start working a second job or a third job. There's ways to do it. You might have to stop school for a quarter or two or a year to find some grants. There's government grants, there's loans. There are, of course, the best is to cash flow. So you might have to put your dream on hold. Okay, mom is going to give me, she's already promised to help $5,000 for a down payment for my house. I was hoping she would bring it up to 10 or 20 or 50, but set boundaries. I know I was dreaming and hoping of giving you $50,000 for your down payment. I can't afford that. I'm retiring and I will come up with 10. And maybe you have to work an extra 6 months to give them the 10,000 that you feel that you want to give them. So whatever your boundaries are, I've never done that. I've never given anybody money for a down payment. I live in a very, very, very modest home in a very modest part of the country. So yeah, if you tell me, well, we want to live in this awesome neighborhood and the average home value is $300,000, I would say, good luck with that. That sounds great. What a great idea. Love it. I will bring you a potted plant to your housewarming. Well, I'll probably do something better, but that's their dream. We are responsible for our own dreams. We're not responsible for everyone else's dreams. But anyway, set your boundaries. Encourage financial independence with your children. And maybe you didn't do it very well with your children. What about your grandchildren? Encourage financial independence. Teach them skills. I know you have them. You have skills, whatever your situation is. You have skills to get toward financial independence, because that's what we all want. We don't want our kids to be dependent on us, on the government, on anything that's negative. The only thing we want them dependent on is the Lord Jesus, not on us or anything else. So set boundaries, encourage financial independence, and start now wherever you are. Whatever your situation is with your kids, they might still be pretty young, and that you're thinking, oh, that'll never be a problem. Start now wherever your kids are, little, preschool, all the way up, wherever they are, in their 40s, their 50s, their 60s, wherever your situation. Start now, and just, set your boundaries, protect yourself, protect your own future. We want to solve, especially moms. Well, I'm sure dads too, but especially moms. We have a heart. We want to solve everybody's problems. We want to fix everything. We want to cushion your blow. We want to be the soft place for you to land. And if every time you come to me, the answer is no, do it yourself. Pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. I'm not helping you out at all. Of course not. We don't want to do that. We don't have that attitude. We have a loving, generous, kind attitude. But we have to protect our own futures, and we can't do that if we're helping everybody else. Be open and honest. We might just not be able to afford it, period. If my son came and said he wanted a $300,000 house and he needed a 20% down payment, and they really want to move this month, or they feel like they really have to, their old house, some tragedy, they've got to move this month, I'm sorry. I do not have 20% of a $300,000 mortgage to do that for you. I'll help you find a rental that you can stay in while you're saving up for that big house. And, oh, but Mom, it's on sale. It's a great deal. I cannot pass it up. Another one will come along. A disappointment. Oh, we want to keep our kids from being disappointed and not getting the house of their dreams, the neighborhood of their dreams, the school of their dreams. Life is full of disappointment. We have to know what our boundaries are, be open and honest, and stand by them. And most of all, I'm going to end with this. Don't feel guilty for the decisions that you make. You are not a horrible person. You're not a bad parent. You haven't made all these mistakes, got this kid, let this kid get in this situation, and now you have to get them out. You are not a terrible person. You are a loving, generous mom or dad, grandma or grandpa, and don't feel guilty. You might not be in the situation where you can help and support people, and you might feel like, oh, all my friends do this. My friends can afford it. Maybe they can afford it. Or maybe they're making not very wise decisions with their own future. Whatever it is, whatever situation you're in, please do not feel guilty. Set your boundaries, stand by them, be open and honest, and share below your experiences. If you have advice for parents or grandparents or aunts and uncles in this situation, share your advice. Let's encourage one another. This is a tough place to be, but we just want to be here together and support one another. So have a good day. Start now wherever you are, and let's encourage each other on this long, long journey.